Right now, in this very moment, you have a choice. You can continue carrying the weight of the past, or you can choose to break free. The moment you truly decide to let go, everything in your life will begin to change. Your finances will shift. Your relationships will shift. Your health will shift. Your entire reality will start aligning with the abundance, joy, and purpose that God has had waiting for you all along. Are you ready to release it? Because once you do, the floodgates of blessings will open. And in the next section, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. There comes a moment in life when everything seems to be working against you. You've prayed, waited, and endured. Pain, yet the struggles only seem to deepen. But God is saying, enough. The suffering ends now. You've been carrying burdens too heavy for one person to bear, worrying about finances, drowning in emotional turmoil, feeling lost in the silence of unanswered prayers. But what if I told you that silence was never an absence? It was preparation. The pain you've endured was not punishment, it was transformation. You were not being abandoned, you were being prepared. And now, God is stepping in. The struggles that once defined you are about to vanish like mist in the morning sun. The debt you thought would never disappear, paid. The heartbreak that shattered your spirit, healed. The doubts that kept you up at night, gone. God's timing is perfect. You've reached the tipping point, the exact moment when suffering ends and abundance begins. This is not just another phase in your life. This is the breakthrough, and it's happening now. You feel it, don't you? That unshakable sense that something is about to change. It's not just a thought, it's a spiritual certainty. God has been watching every tear, every silent cry, every moment of doubt. He has seen how the weight of life has drained you, how the world has tried to break you. But God is saying, I will not allow this any longer. Your time of suffering is over. This shift in your life is not small. This is not a slow, gradual improvement. This is the kind of shift that will leave people speechless. The ones who doubted you, they will be in awe. The ones who mocked you, they will have no choice but to respect you. The ones who left you behind, they will wish they never did. Because God is about to set you apart. He's about to elevate you in ways no one thought possible. And when this transformation happens, it won't just be you who notices. The entire world will see. This is the moment when God's presence will become undeniable in your life. Everything in your life has been leading up to this moment. The struggles, the sleepless nights, the battles that felt impossible to win. It was never about punishment. It was about preparation. God has been preparing you for something greater, something beyond what you could have ever imagined. You were never meant to stay stuck in the pain. You were never meant to live in constant suffering. The reason it has felt so difficult is because the enemy saw what was coming before you did. He saw the breakthrough, the transformation, the unstoppable force that you were about to become. That's why he tried everything to stop you, to drain your energy, to make you doubt yourself, to convince you that you were alone. But you were never alone. Every step of the way, God was with you, watching, guiding, waiting for the exact moment to shift everything in your favor. And that moment is now. The world has tried to break you, but instead, you have been refined. The fire you walked through was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to purify you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for what is next. Everything that was taken from you will be restored. Everything that seemed lost will return in greater measure. The people who underestimated you will be forced to watch as God elevates you beyond anything they thought possible. You are no longer the same person you were before. The shift has already begun. You can feel it deep within you, a sense of anticipation, a knowing that something is about to change. This is not just an emotional feeling, this is spiritual confirmation. God is moving, and nothing can stop what is coming. Doubt will try to creep in. Fear will whisper that it's too good to be true. But you must remember that God is not a man that he should lie. When he declares something over your life, it is set in motion. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is already unfolding. The blessings that were delayed are now being released. The doors that were once closed are swinging open. It is happening now, and all you have to do is step into it. The time of waiting is over. The time of uncertainty has ended. God is making His move, and you are about to witness the power of His. No enemy, no obstacle, no force can stand in the way of what is about to unfold in your life. You are chosen. You are anointed. You are stepping into a future that is brighter, bolder, and more powerful than anything you have ever known. This is your time. Everything is changing, and nothing will ever be the same again. Have you noticed how everything feels different lately? The tension that once consumed your mind, the burdens that weighed so heavily on your spirit, something is shifting, something beyond your control. The very atmosphere around you is charged with a divine transformation, and deep down, your soul already knows this is not an accident. This is not coincidence. This is God stepping into your life in a way that will leave you speechless. The struggles you once thought would never end are now being overturned. The doors that once slammed in your face are now swinging open. The people who once doubted you, ignored you, and dismissed you will have no choice but to watch as God elevates you right before their eyes. You are no longer who you used to be. You are no longer bound by the mistakes of your past or the limitations the world tried to place on you. You are stepping into a divine transformation so powerful that even you will be amazed at what unfolds. The pain that once drained you will no longer have power over you. The setbacks that once frustrated you will now serve as stepping stones to something greater. Every unanswered prayer, every tear that fell in silence, every moment you questioned whether God was listening, it was all leading to this. It was all part of the process, part of the preparation for what is happening right now. Do not question why the shift is happening. Do not hesitate when you feel the pull of God's calling. This is not a time for fear, and it is certainly not a time to doubt. The things you prayed for, the things you begged God to change, the breakthroughs you so desperately needed, they are now unfolding. The chains are breaking, the weight is lifting, and what is ahead of you is greater than anything you have ever left behind. You will see the transformation in ways you never expected. The opportunities that seemed impossible will now be within your reach. The blessings that once felt distant will now find their way directly to you. The healing you thought would never come, the love you thought was out of reach, the peace you thought was lost forever, it is all returning to you in ways beyond your imagination. This is not just another chapter in your life. This is a complete rewrite of your story. This is the moment when everything changes. This is God stepping in, making the impossible possible, turning your struggle into testimony, and proving to the world that His favor is unstoppable. Hold your head high, chosen one. Stand firm in faith. Walk boldly into this new season, because everything that was meant to break you is now becoming the very thing that builds you. And what is coming next will make every hardship, every setback, and every moment of doubt worth it. You are no longer surviving. You are thriving. You are no longer waiting. You are walking into what is already yours. And nothing will be able to stop what God has set in motion for you. Have you ever felt like you were waiting for something just beyond your reach? Something you could sense but couldn't quite grasp? That feeling wasn't in vain. It wasn't just your imagination. It was God preparing you for this very moment. Everything you have endured, everything that has tested your patience, everything that has made you question whether you were on the right path, it has all been leading to this. The reason your spirit has been restless is because you were never meant to stay where you were. The reason things have felt uncertain is because you were never meant to settle for an ordinary life. God has been moving things behind the scenes, aligning circumstances in ways you couldn't see, and making sure that when the time came, you would be ready to step into the life He had prepared for you. And now, the waiting is over. You are stepping into a season where everything that once felt stagnant is now accelerating. The delays that frustrated you, the roadblocks that held you back, the prayers that seemed unanswered, God was never ignoring you. He was setting you up for something greater, something bigger than what you were asking for. The people who once overlooked, you will now have no choice but to notice the shift. Those who doubted you, who dismissed your potential, who tried to convince you that you weren't enough, they will witness firsthand the favor of God unfolding in your life. You will not have to prove anything. Your elevation will speak for itself. What once seemed impossible will now become effortless. The doors that refused to open before will now swing wide. The blessings, chosen one, listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will change everything for you. If you're here right now, it's not by accident. God led you here because something massive is shifting in your life. And if you don't wake up to this truth right now, you could miss the biggest transformation of your entire existence. For too long, you've been waiting for things to get better, waiting for the pain to stop, waiting for your breakthrough to arrive. But God is telling you today, stop waiting. It's already here. The shift has already started. And if you don't align yourself with this moment, you will be left behind. This is not just a message. This is a divine calling. The universe is shifting in your favor. The floodgates of blessings are opening, and everything you've struggled with is about to be completely reversed. But before that happens, there's one thing you must understand. One thing that's been blocking your blessings without you even realizing it. And if you don't stop this right now, everything God has planned for you could be delayed. Before I reveal this life-changing truth, pause this video for a moment, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment 777 below. Why? Because 777 is the number of divine completion. By commenting this, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive this blessing. And if you're truly a chosen one, you'll stay with me until the end, because your spirit already knows this message is for you. But be warned, this message isn't for everyone. Some people will hear it and ignore it, some will turn away. But those who truly listen, those who open their hearts to what's coming, will never be the same again. Let's dive in. Everything is about to change. I know you've been feeling it, the weight, the exhaustion, the frustration, the feeling like you're running in circles, never truly breaking free. It's like every time you take one step forward, something drags you 10 steps back. You've tried everything. You've prayed, you've worked harder, you've tried to stay positive, but nothing seems to change. And deep down you're wondering, God, when will my breakthrough come? But here's what you need to understand. The breakthrough has already begun. The shift is happening right now. But you haven't been able to see it because there's something blocking it, something you have been doing without even realizing it. And until you stop this one thing, you will remain stuck in the same cycle, missing the blessings that are already trying to reach you. God is speaking directly to you right now. Are you ready to hear the truth? Because once you do, your life will never be the same again. Chosen one, listen carefully, because this is the reason you've been feeling stuck. This is the force that has been keeping you trapped in cycles of struggle, delay, and frustration. You have been unknowingly working against your own destiny, and the reason is your energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions are creating your reality. Every single thing that happens in your life is a reflection of the energy you put out. And right now, whether you realize it or not, you are holding onto energy that is blocking your blessings. God has been trying to shift your life for months, maybe even years, but because of one crucial mistake, you've been slowing down the process. And if you don't fix this now, you could delay your breakthrough for years. Here's what you need to stop immediately if you want to unlock the blessings that have already been set in motion for you. Every time you replay past failures, betrayals, heartbreaks, or missed opportunities in your mind, you are keeping yourself chained to those experiences. You are energetically reliving those moments, and in doing so, you are bringing that same pain back into your present. God cannot bring new blessings into hands that are still holding on to old pain. Let that sink in. The more you hold on to past disappointments, the more you repeat them. This is why you feel like you're running in circles. This is why you keep facing the same struggles, the same heartbreaks, the same financial issues. You are trapped in a cycle that you are unknowingly keeping alive. But today, God is giving you a way out. Think about it. How many times have you woken up in the morning and immediately thought about something painful from your past? How many times have you caught yourself reliving an argument, a mistake, or a moment of failure as if it just happened yesterday? This is not just a memory. This is a spiritual stronghold. And as long as you keep feeding it, it will keep showing up in your reality. The enemy knows that if he can keep you stuck in the past, he can stop you from stepping into the future that God has prepared for you. But chosen one, that ends today. God is calling you to release it, to let go, to finally close the door on everything that has been weighing you down. Because until you do, the blessings that are waiting for you cannot come in. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey where the weight of the past begins to break away, where the chains that once held you down suddenly lose their grip. That moment is now. You have carried so much for so long: pain, doubt, heartbreak, disappointment. You have endured battles that no one saw, struggles that left you questioning if you would ever rise again. But through it all, God was watching. Through every tear, every sleepless night, every silent prayer, He was preparing you for this very moment. The suffering you went through was not wasted. It was shaping you, refining you, making you unshakable. The version of you that is emerging now is stronger, wiser, and ready for the elevation that is coming. You are stepping into a season where everything that once felt impossible will begin to fall into place effortlessly. The resistance you faced was never a sign of failure. It was proof of the power within you. The enemy never fights those who are weak. The battles were fierce because your destiny is powerful. You are not the same person who once doubted, who once settled for less, who once questioned their worth. That version of you no longer exists. The fire did not consume you. It refined you. Every betrayal, every loss, every setback was not the end of your story. It was the foundation for something greater. And now, God is stepping in to do what only He can do. Doors you never even knocked on will begin to open. Opportunities that seemed out of reach will be placed in front of you. The people who dismissed, you will be forced to watch as God's favor elevates you beyond anything they ever imagined. It is your time now, not next year, not someday in the future, now. The shift has already begun. The weight that once held you back is lifting. The burden that once drained your energy is being removed. You can feel it in your spirit. The breakthrough is no longer just a hope. It is a reality unfolding right in front of you. What once seemed far away is now within your grasp. What once felt like a struggle is now a stepping stone to greater things. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. God has had His eyes on you from the very beginning. Every moment of pain, every season of waiting, every prayer that felt unanswered, it was all leading to this. And now, the suffering has ended, the breakthrough has arrived, and the new chapter begins. This is not the time to look back. This is not the time to hesitate. Step forward with confidence, because what God has prepared for you is greater than anything you have ever known. You can feel it, can't you? That shift in the air, the way the weight on your shoulders suddenly feels lighter, the way your spirit stirs as if it already knows what is coming. This is not an illusion. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine intervention unfolding in real time. The struggles that once defined you are now being stripped away, making room for something greater. God is not just restoring what was lost. He is elevating you beyond anything you imagined possible. The reason the battle was so intense, the reason the journey felt so heavy, was because of what was waiting on the other side. You were never meant for mediocrity. You were never meant for just getting by. You were chosen for abundance, for purpose. This is the divine power of God clearing the way for you, ensuring that you step into your destiny without resistance. The battles you fought in silence, the nights you spent wondering if you would ever catch a break, the moments you questioned whether God had forgotten you, it was never for nothing. Every struggle, every lesson, every setback was refining you, shaping you, molding you into the person who could handle the greatness that is now coming your way. This is why you couldn't quit. This is why you had to keep going. This is why you had to endure the process. Because now, as everything aligns, as everything begins to shift, you will look back and understand that God was never denying you. He was preparing you. He was setting you up for a level of favor and success that requires a strong foundation, a foundation you now possess. Get ready, because what is coming will be greater than anything you could have asked for. What is about to unfold will confirm everything your spirit already knew, that you were chosen for something greater, that you were never meant to live in lack, in doubt, in fear, that you were always meant to thrive, to rise, to walk boldly in the divine path God has set before you. Your waiting season is over. The shift has begun, and nothing will stop what God is about to do in your life.